So guys, there's some fresh news. Manny Pacquiao's manager has put a picture on Instagram about Manny Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia. Now guys, it really has been a farcical situation, this. And I think Manny Pacquiao's team wasn't very happy because they thought, his name is being used, Ryan Garcia, because it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't look good for Manny, does it? If, he's being linked with this fighter, this fighter, this fighter, this fighter, this fighter, and nothing's coming to fruition. And it's like, what's going on? It just doesn't look good. He was linked with Crawford, then he was linked with Spence, and then he was linked with Mikey, linked with McGregor, linked with Ryan Garcia. Like, literally, the situation, like, I saw an article, the situation has become farcical. And it has. But this one, which I always think was going to be the fight, is obviously more credible. And the fact that his manager has put it out, I think there's a great chance that Manny Pacquiao will fight Mikey Garcia. And to be honest with you, I think it was always going to be Mikey Garcia. I don't know where these Crawford rumors came from. I don't know where the Spence rumors came from. Because if Manny Pacquiao's team wasn't giving out this news, then why was this news coming out? I don't quite understand. A lot of people aren't going to be happy. I've already seen a lot of people downplay the fight. You see, I don't have a problem with it because Mikey Garcia is still a legit fighter. Don't get me wrong, he's not a Crawford or a Spence. But Manny Pacquiao's at the stage of his career where I don't care who he fights. It's just Manny Pacquiao. It's an event. It's getting to see Manny Pacquiao fight. I don't care who he fights at this stage of his career. Now, maybe he shouldn't even be fighting. Maybe he should retire. Maybe he should focus on things out of boxing. Some people may say. But I just think that we should appreciate that the Senator Manny Pacquiao is still fighting at the age of 42. And he's going into a fight against a 4-division world champion who has one loss on his record. And he's going in as the favorite at 42. Incredible. Incredible. And I don't care who he fights. I know some people are going to say, my friend Tutai, if he watches this, is probably not going to be happy and saying, man, he's ducking. And by the end of the day, I don't really care who he fights. I've never, if it was Crawford or Spence, fair enough. But let's be honest, I just think that him coming back, after 2 years out, I just think those weren't practical fights, really, when you think about it. I think the Mikey Garcia fight's more realistic. And I actually think I don't know what was the deal with the McGregor situation, but I actually think McGregor was a fight that they were actually wanted. And I actually think that was a fight. See, if they had the thought that they were going to fight McGregor, right? Again, I don't know how much truth was to that. Then you wouldn't go from thinking that you're going to fight McGregor to fighting Crawford or Spence. Now, we don't know. Maybe Manny Pacquiao thought he could get a lot of money from those fights, but the investors pulled out, or they didn't think. I don't know what the score is, because very credible people were reporting this news. Michael Benson was reporting it. Coppinger, who's a very, very credible source. People listen to him. Michael Benson's a very credible source. And these guys were reporting that, Manny Pacquiao's in negotiations with Errol Spence. He's in negotiating with Terence Crawford. So when you've got credible people in boxing that, are very credible and generally have very good inside information reporting this stuff, then generally these people have inside information and they generally know what's going on. But with the Manny Pacquiao situation, there were so many things going on. There were so many fights being talked about. I actually think that, like I said, Manny Pacquiao's, not manager, who is it? Michael Cons, his advisor. Is it Michael Cons? Not Michael Cons, Sean Gibbons. I don't know what Sean Gibbons' role is. Is he a manager as well? Because the manager that put out a poster about Manny Pacquiao was somebody else on Instagram. But Sean Gibbons, I think, is his manager or advisor. I don't know. Can't remember what his role is. But he was saying the Crawford stuff is nonsense. And I always think that Mikey Garcia was probably the more realistic fight all along. I think all along. But what I didn't understand is that this fight looks like this fight's going to happen in Dubai with Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia. Was it, I don't know why, if those talks were real, or were they just rubbish from the start and they were just all rumors? It would be great to know what actually broke down that deal, or was it just complete nonsense and false reported stuff? God knows. God knows. God knows. God knows what the score is. But it's great news in the sense that, you know, it seems like this one is more realistic. And I think the reason why his manager might have put this out, is because I think they want to just put it out there that this is the fight we're in negotiation with. This is the fight that we're linked with, not no one else, because all of the other stuff is rubbish. I think that's what they were trying to get out there. I think that's why the manager probably came out and put that poster out there, because I think they're just frustrated that, you know, there's a lot of false news being branded around about Pacquiao. They weren't happy. You know, Manny Pacquiao is a legend, a guy that's achieved a lot in the sport, a guy that's inspired a lot of people. Everybody wants to fight him, we get that. Everybody wants to fight Manny Pacquiao. Everybody. Because Manny Pacquiao has not got long left in the sport. But I think Manny Pacquiao wanted somebody like Mikey Garcia because it's a credible name, it's a big name. And Mikey Garcia is at this point of his career where he wants someone like Manny Pacquiao as well. He wants a big fight. I don't think Mikey Garcia, after losing to Spence, I think he's lost his hunger a little bit. He's still a world-class fighter, don't get me wrong, but I do think the hunger's not the same. And I think he's trying to take fights now which are more risky. And not worried, because once you lose, you're not worried about losing again. You're just all about taking the risk, getting the big money fights, getting the fights that are gonna, you know, enhance your legacy. And a Manny Pacquiao fight definitely enhances Mikey's legacy, even though he's at the end of his career. See, nobody would be giving Mikey a chance in Manny's prime, and even now he's seen as a favorite. So if Mikey was to win, would he get credit for it? Possibly, I doubt it, because people will say Manny was past his best. Because nobody would expect Mikey to beat Manny. If people are saying at this stage in Manny's career that he beats Mikey Garcia, imagine what they would say for a prime Pac or a prime Pacquiao. A prime Pacquiao, they would give him zero chance. So it's great news that it looks like Manny Pacquiao's fight with Mikey Garcia is moving closer. I think this was the fight all along. I just think that Mikey Garcia, I think obviously Manny Pacquiao's got a crazy schedule because of, you know, he's involved in politics in the Philippines. I just think it was on hold. Maybe they were negotiating with other guys and other fighters because they were looking at all the options, but maybe they realized that things have collapsed. They're not, those fights are not on the table anymore. And they just think this is the easiest move. And maybe they're just fed up of all the negotiations. They just want to Manny just wants to make a fight and fight. It would be good to see what Manny Pacquiao does. Listen, Manny Pacquiao might fight Mikey Garcia and never fight again. Who knows what Manny decides to do. But whatever he decides to do, we wish him all the best. As a fight fan, like, the guy's given me a lot of entertainment over 10 years, a whole decade really, of watching him. He's given us a lot of, and that was since I've been watching him, because I started watching Manny Pacquiao like 2008. That's when I really got 2008-7. That's when I really got involved in boxing or got into boxing. So Manny Pacquiao's given me like 12, 13, 14 years of entertainment. I know he's now coming to the end, and it's going to be sad to see him go. It's going to be sad to see him retire, which is inevitable, which he will eventually retire. And it's not a longer way. It might be another 1 or 2 fights, and that's it. And we never may see Pacquiao fight again. It's going to be an end of an era when he goes. It's going to be an end of an era. There's a lot of fighters that I used to admire that have gone. You know, that I used to like watching have gone. You know, you've got guys like Manny's on the edge of he's at the end of his career. You know, Miguel Cotto's gone. Marcus Maidana left very early, and he left prematurely, really. You know, I was really upset when Marcus Maidana didn't fight again. left. I was gutted actually because I really loved Marcos Maidana. I was really exciting fighter. You know, De La Hoya left. He left quite a long time ago. But I only really saw De La Hoya towards the back end of his career, to be honest with you. I didn't really see a lot of De La Hoya. You know, Amir Khan, another fighter that I used to admire, is coming to the end of his road. His career's virtually over. He's got one, maybe 2 fights left. So a lot of the fighters that I used to watch and enjoy and admire, and I remember when I first got into boxing, a lot of them are coming to an end now. And Manny's one of them. Some of them are already gone. Some of them are already retired. Some of them are already finished. Like I said, Cotto, Mayweather, Maidana. Some of these guys are finished. They're retired. They're retired. So, you know, when you have somebody that had a huge impact on you, that you admired, looked up to, like, look, even guys like Andre Ward, for example, like Timothy Bradley, those guys are retired. Those guys are finished. End of an era. End of an era, man. We're all coming towards the end. Like, you know, they're all coming to an end. You know, all the guys that were previous era now are coming to an end. And it's incredible the fact that someone like Ward, who really made his name in this decade, really, from 2010 to 2000, you'd say he retired in 2017, and he probably had a span of what, 8-9 years, really, probably 6-7 years where he made his name, Andre Ward. And he left, you know, and Manny Pacquiao's been doing this for how long? How long? Like I said, when I remember Manny Pacquiao from 2007, and he's been fighting way before then, right? So that's almost 14 years, and he's still fighting. It's incredible to think about it, that many guys younger than him have retired, like an Andre Ward, have retired. And he's still like, he's not even like he's dropped and he's not a world level fighter anymore. He's still a world level fighter. He's still a top fighter at the age of what? 42. It's incredible. Incredible. What a career. What a legend. What a fighter. What a fighter. What a great fighter. You know, the word great is used too much, but Manny Pacquiao was great. And when he does go, I think we'll all miss him. I think there's not many people coming through like that. So when you lose somebody like Manny Pacquiao, it's always sad for world boxing, because there's not many people that are coming through that are going to replace someone like that. Just like Floyd, there's not anyone really coming through that's going to replace someone like that. And you've lost, like, even when you lost Miguel Cotto, there's not going to be somebody that... Maidana had a great... You see, I don't feel like a lot of these guys that I'm mentioning were throwbacks. Like, they'd fight anyone. They'd fight anyone, and they fought everyone. That they didn't care about the losses on the record. They didn't care about how many losses they had. They wanted to fight each other. They wanted to prove that they're the best. And that's what made a lot of these guys good. That's why a lot of these old schoolers had a lot of losses on their record, because they literally fought anyone. Whereas a lot of these young kids today have a lot of padded records. It's a different mindset, different culture. But actually the culture of today is probably not the most appealing culture or the appealing way for fight fans. Because fight fans want to see people fight. Fight fans want to see people fight the best. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen as often. I know it's happening recently. We've got some undisputed fights coming up. But there's a lot of fights that we want to see that are not coming to fruition, or that take very long to make. But yeah, what do you guys make of Manny Pacquiao fighting Mikey Garcia? What do you make of the news? Do you like the fight? Do you dislike the fight? Let me know your thoughts. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some people that are happy, some people that are unhappy. But I'd love to know what your thoughts are regardless. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.